I used to hesitate to speak my mind until this one small shift changed everything. Hi, I'm Trisha Edwards, and I'm going to talk to you about my human design. And so this one shift that I'm going to share with you is how I stopped helping my clients and started changing their lives. And so first, I want to share with you a couple things on my human design. And if you're new to human design, I want to share that these shapes, like this one right here, this triangle or this triangle, this square, etc., any of these shapes, they are centers. And when a shape has no color, white, like this one, it means it is undefined. So undefined. And when it has a color, doesn't matter what color it is, like this one, it is defined. These are also, the ones that are undefined are also open. There's a technicality as to how it's undefined or open, but I won't get into that. But you might hear if you have an open center or an undefined center. And so that'll be good enough for what we're talking about here, just so you know. And when you have that open or undefined center, it means you are a receiver, that you have your own energy there, but you're also taking in the energy of everybody around you. And when you have defined, you have your own energy. And it's not that you may not be taking in some of the other, but you are more of a broadcaster. So I don't want you to think of these as black and white. It's not exactly the same thing. But when you're open, you do more taking in than you do broadcasting out. When you are defined, you do more sending out because you're broadcasting than you do taking in. And there's benefits to both. And I always thought, man, I have all this definition. So of 9 centers, 7 of them for me are defined. And that means I do mostly sending out and not as much taking in. So, just because I'm used to those things, it's like, what am I going to do with this open head center? And so it was a little bit of, not as interesting to me. And I've ignored it. I ignored it the very first year that I was doing human design stuff. And then I started really learning more about the centers and the openness and the undefined and what that can mean, because I had a lot of clients who didn't have much definition. They would only have 1 or 2 centers or 3 centers defined. And so they had a lot of openness. And so I started really learning about that for them and for myself. And I want to share with you. So if you have this one up here, you know what? I want to use a different color. If you have this one, this is the head center. So it's the head, right? And it's where you take in ideas, inspiration, that sort of thing. Now, when you have it open, you're the receiver. You're taking in far more than what you have internally, right? And something really cool happened with that. I always thought that was like, oh gosh, now everybody's living in my head, because that will happen too. So you can look at it, and this is how I was looking at it. Everybody is adding to me. Everybody is living in my freaking head. And so I felt like, if I go over here, let's see, can I, let me add a page in here. So I felt like, I've got this head center, right? And the way that I felt was, boy, oh my gosh, shut up. There's too many thoughts. No wonder I love silence sometimes, because I got to get all these people out of my head. And I was just like, it's overwhelming. And, this could be somebody who had doubt going on in their own life. And I'm picking up on it. And I'm thinking, maybe I need to doubt myself too, and this person might be, more of overwhelm. I'm taking in that too. This person, what if they're just sad for whatever reason? I'm taking in that too. And this person might be happy and I'm taking that in too. And I'm getting really confused on what I'm taking in, right? So, there's all of this that's coming into me, and that's the way that I thought it. And I was like, oh, it's kind of a dread. Like don't even want to sit in my mind. I did everything I could to just get out of it. But I also want to share with you the other things that happens if you are a coach, or if you are, I'm going to make a person here. If you are the coach, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. They're with the Open Head Center. So here, we're going to do this. So here, you're the coach, right? My lovely stick figures. I didn't plan for this exactly. We'll give them a smiley face. So you're the coach and you have a client, right? So we'll give, whatever the client, is talking about. You get to pick up on things that they're not saying, but they're thinking. So they might be, I think we've all had this before, where I know I've even done this in coaching, when I was being coached, and also when I've helped coach other people. So somebody here, they might be telling you that, why I can't, whatever that thing is, and maybe it's because no time, and they can't see any other way around it. There's just simply no time. But what you hear them talking about is not that there's no time, is that I'm afraid. What will so-and-so think? That's what you hear. And it comes to you. And you may have brushed it off as in well, let me help you figure out the time. Let's look at what you have available and approach it as from a really practical standpoint of, well, let's see, do you want to block some time out? Do you need to put up any boundaries? Where might you be wasting time? But no, the coach with the open head is taking all that in. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I also am sensing this other thing is popping up. And I know it's not going to solve the problem that it doesn't seem like it's going to solve the problem that the client is asking, but I know this is the real thing. And so then it gives you that opportunity to reflect back to them what you're sensing, what you're hearing from your open head that they're not saying with their words. And when I discovered that, cool things started happening. And so I've been doing all of these client reports lately for our ideal client reports, are human design reports. And so what I will do is I'll go look at somebody's human design and I will hear about what they're attracting or who they're attracting, what their offer is, what kind of problems do they solve, what's the first thing that they ultimately try to help somebody with, what's that first thing that helps get them closer into the door to come through. And so what I've been doing is helping them. And this is, a lot of this is based off of the research of Jamie L. Palmer. And then I put my own, because I got this open head, these other things that they're not saying on the page when I give them the questionnaire. All right, I hear them saying this. I see what they're putting in their content, to reach out to this client, but they're missing something. And I'm taking in this other thing, not that it's a thing that they're not doing, what I normally sense from this, but here's this other thing they haven't even considered, this amazing thing that they have. And it probably feels like no big deal to them. And so I've been doing these ideal client human design reports for them. And I deliver them with a Loom and I share with them, this is what I'm noticing. And I always preface it as, I'm not really sure how you're going to respond to this, but I am confident that I am here to deliver this to you because this is what I took in from my open head. And this is what I'm sensing. It's what I'm hearing. It's not what you put on the paper, but I'm sensing this is something for you. So when you're open to it, I recommend starting here. And so I've been sharing some of those things. And then instantly, it's so cool because as soon as they start applying it, things change in their business. And how cool is that? And, so anybody who has an open head, I think tends to make a pretty darn good coach because we hear all of those things that, that others just don't. So, yeah. So that's what I wanted to share. This is the one thing that's changed. Like, I am free to speak my mind because I'm good at this. I can take in all that stuff. And I have enough other things, skills and experience in writing content and doing some other things, working with people. And so I can take what they're bringing in and reflect it back to them and then give them also some practical things because this is my area of expertise that I can give them practical things in what to do. Another coach might do it in a different way. They may share it in a slightly different way, but it's the same process. You're taking in what they're not saying, but what you're sensing, and then you formulate it back to them to help them with what their real problem is, not the one that they think their problem is. Anyway, that's just really cool. It's the one thing, this open head, it's brilliant. If you've got one, use it. That's my advice.